Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hibernian Hall weekly web series called the Community Spotlight. My name is Olawumi Akinwumi. I am the program director here at Hibernian Hall. This is going to be our ninth interview. We have a lovely guest with us from Boston Children's Chorus. We're bringing up Robbie and Irene. But before we do that, I would love to start out with a beautiful, beautiful video that highlights what the Boston Children's Chorus is all about. So stay tuned. Uh-oh. Hmm. All right. Wait 1 second. Can everyone hear the sound? Well, we're gonna do a remix. Let's see.
This world is ready and waiting for you to break on through. And it's time to realize you're the only one. Step on up, step into your greatness. Don't be afraid. There's a place that you will rise up to. Oh, no one else can do what you do. Get out the way, let your light shine. Let your love show. It's short ride down a long road. When the rains come and the winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. Let your light shine, let your love show. It's a short ride down a long Let your light shine wherever you go. Let your love show. Shine bright down the long road. When the rains come and the winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. Let your light shine. Let your love shine down the long road. And when the rains come and the winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. Wherever you go.
That was beautiful. Yay! Thank you so much. So there you have it. You have a great highlight of Boston Children's Chorus. Now, before I bring on these two wonderful people to speak with us today, I just wanted to give a nice little intro. So starting out with Robbie Jacobs. He is going to have the answer. Yes, Robbie Jacobs. Studied music at King's College, Cambridge, where he was a senior choral scholar and holds a master's in choral conducting from the Royal Academy of Music. He is the co-artistic director of Contemporary Vocal Ensemble, Very, and has held positions as acting. Thank you for the background. Yes, as acting artistic director of the London Youth Choir, chorus master of the National Youth Choir of Great Britain, musical director of the Renaissance Project, and a lecturer in cultural skills at the Royal Academy of Music. Robbie was the inaugural conducting scholar for Genesis 16, where he studied with Harvey Christophers and Eamon Dugan. As an educator, Robbie has worked extensively in the UK and with Royal Opera House, the Three Choirs Festival, the Rose Hill Theatre, and the Ledbury Poetry Festival, and is ambassador of the Teach First program. He is currently the director of artistic program for Boston Children's Chorus. And then we also will love to bring on Irene. Irene as the Chief Program Officer for Boston Children's Chorus. Irene Idicherry oversees the organization's artistic and educational programs. Previously served as the BCC's artistic team, conducting multiple choirs. As a teacher and program director, Cherry brings experience in K-12 and collegiate settings. A certified Kolderi, sorry, I'm butchering stuff, instructor, she taught general music and chorus at the Gale-Met School in Lawrence, Mass. For 8 years. In 2014, she was appointed district facilitator of music programs for the Lawrence Public Schools. Currently teaches graduate music education classes at Boston Conservatory at Berkeley. An advocate for music education, she is a board member of the Massachusetts Music Educators Association and co-founded the Massachusetts All-State Treble Chorus. She sits on the board of the Urban Music Leadership Conference, a national network of city-based music leaders and teachers. She also continues her role in editorial board of the Massachusetts Music Educators Journal. So there you have it. Let's bring on these lovely two people as we start our conversation. Welcome, Robbie and Irene.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi. I know, sorry, I had a little difficulty. It's always the sound thing that always gets me, but eventually everyone got to hear the beautiful music. So yeah, so welcome.
Great.
How are you guys doing?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a pleasure. So yes, as I said, if you want to elaborate more about who you guys are, you can go ahead and start it out, Robbie, and tell folks who you are and our relationship here at Hibernian Hall.
Sure. Well, thank you for using that picture of me where I had significantly more hair. I'm Robbie Jacobs. I'm Director of Artistic Programming for Boston Children's Chorus. I'm one of Boston Children's Chorus's conductors, and very pleased to be able to speak to you guys today about Boston Children's Chorus's relationship with Hibernian Hall, our community partnership, which is now in its third year, and we're very, very pleased and privileged to be part of this and to be able to share with you our music and to be able to engage with your community.
Thank you.
And I'm Irina DeCheria, and I'm the Chief Program Officer at Boston Children's Chorus. And like the partnership at Hibernian Hall, I'm going to my third year at BCC. And so with Hibernian Hall, for 3 years now, we have held one of our lower choir rehearsals there. So a training choir rehearsals for children who are aged 7 to 12, and they would meet at Hibernian Hall once a week. And then also in February, for the last 2 years, we've been very pleased to present our flagship MLK concert at Hibernian Hall. And it's just been a real joy to have that program presented at Hibernian Hall.
Thank you. Ed, it's been a joy as well to have you guys become our community partners. And we're looking forward to, many years to come. So yes, thank you so much. As we get started, the last time we actually were working together was before the COVID-19. And, you had the young people coming every Monday. So since then, what have you guys been doing?
So very quickly, we made the shift to migrate from in-person programming to online programming very, very fast. And just very proud of the entire BCC community, from staff to parents to singers. Everybody made that shift quickly and so responsively and so openly. And now we are preparing for the start of the new season. And Robbie can speak to that a bit more in detail, how we're preparing artistically for that.
Yeah, so when we first moved to our online program, we knew that we had to do it quickly, and the way that manifested itself was really our conductors having to teach from their living rooms. And now what we're looking to do, what we've spent time on over the summer, is ways to bring the top quality of programming and tuition to people, even though our season's most likely to start online. And so we're decking out our studios at 20 Old Colony Avenue with state-of-the-art audio-visual technology, so that we can stream synchronized piano and conductor sound straight to people's computers via Zoom. We are working with composers from around the world to learn about new styles of music and have our own kids facilitate new compositions which they have some input into, with 3 fantastic composers, Jasmine Horn, Laith Sadiq, and Sydney Guillaume. And that's part of our Opus Nuovo program. We have a listen-in program where we have speakers coming to speak to our students about issues relating to our season theme, which this year is Waves of Change, exploring demographic shifts in America and how that's impacted American society, ranging from 400 years ago back to the first slave ship to land in the US, the White Lion, the impact of the Mayflower on today's society and how it impacted the indigenous peoples of Massachusetts, all the way through to what the world looks like now and the way that immigrant people are treated in this country, the way that immigrant people have brought so much to the culture of America. And so celebrating the immigrant experience.
Wow, thank you. That's like heavenly deep. You guys have really been putting in some great work.
Thank you.
Yes, and I know that you have a Pacific Roxbury choir so folks in the audience that are watching, like what would that cohort be learning, especially when they're singing and producing music in their neighborhood?
So coming up for this year, our season theme, every season revolves and centers on a specific social theme. And this year we're looking at the myriad of experiences that is the American immigrant community. And so with the little singers, the youngest singers, age 7 to 12, we'll be reading books in conjunction with the music that we make. And these books will focus on different immigrant experiences. We'll be listening to and hearing from immigrants in the community who will be telling their stories. And then, of course, our music will also center towards themes that revolve around migration and home and belonging. And you'll see that in our virtual choir videos that we will continue to put out.
Cool.
And just to add to that, of course, when we put this season together last year, and we were planning a season that was focused on on immigrant experience. At that stage, we had no idea that the world was going to look so different. So in addition to our season theme, our music selections and the work that we're going to be doing with our singers in the coming season are going to be very much focused on friendship, connection, dealing with the feeling of isolation and those issues that have been brought so much into the focus by the need to respond to coronavirus.
Wow. Learning so much. I mean, I didn't realize how much in depth it takes for you guys to really put things together. I mean, it's amazing watching that video earlier of how you can sync all the little spaces together and the main singer, it's the artist, to be putting in. And that's something we've been working on too. So as you can see, along with this web series we have on, I'm not the professional, but we're working along technology. We're trying to catch along with the trends that are happening, and like you said, before this has hit, this virtual has been the new wave of now how we're all communicating, how we're engaging. So I definitely commend you guys for setting forth and making sure that you guys don't give up in that aspect and giving parents and young people hope, So yeah, and I think that segues into basically the biggest challenge that you guys encountered through COVID-19. If you can elaborate more on what that is, because the fact that you guys can't really meet in the space, how did you kind of bypass those loopholes or basically handle them?
Yeah, so there's one, immediate challenge for us, and that happens to be specific to singing, and that there is a very specific energy that comes from singing together in the same space, being able to hear multiple sounds at once, being able to respond to your conductor in time, to your fellow singers in time, to hear collective breath at the same time. That's a really unique, special, energizing experience. And now that we're not able to synchronize that energy through Zoom, we have to be really creative about making sure that every time we meet, it is energetic, it is engaging, it is a space that promotes connection for singers. And trying to recreate that is something that it really has been, it's been an exciting challenge.
Right.
So.
Yeah. One thing I think that is particularly interesting about singing is that we've, as research into the virus has gone on, there's been more and more evidence to suggest that singing itself is quite a dangerous thing to do in an inside space. So we know that most likely, even as the world gradually starts to go back to normal, singing is likely to be one of the last activities to go back to how it was before. So we know that we need to stay innovative. We need to find exciting and new and engaging ways to sing together, and also to think about what the outside of the direct singing experiences that you can get from a choir, what else is it that a choir offers that makes it into a really rewarding thing for a young person to do. And we know that there are aspects of community, of team building, of musical education, of social education, as well as the joy of the singing and the beauty and the joy of the art, that are all parts of the tapestry that make up being part of a chorus. And so as we've been putting together our online programs, we've been making sure to really boost every aspect of chorus and not just the bit that involves singing together.
Mm-hmm. And then in segueing into that, how do you guys get your inspiration to keep going? I mean, I know going through all this and dealing with the little ones, it's it could be stressful. We're human. So where do you guys get your inspiration to keep going?
Well, I think that, even outside of coronavirus, where do you get your inspiration from to put a program like this together? And I really do think it comes from the engagement of the singers, either their sense of accomplishment at achieving something, their sense of emotional engagement with the subject matter and the kind of things that we would sing about. And that's even amplified more by the situation that we're in. I think that, as you can see in the videos, our young singers, just because they can't be in the same room as each other doesn't mean that they are not still engaged in music making. And so when we can see that, that's certainly a big motivator and inspirer for us to keep going and to keep finding new ways to engage.
Thank you. Like to share anything, Irene? No?
Well, I would just say too, I think at BCC we're very lucky because the staff team, I mean, Robbie said it right, absolutely, that we have an amazing community of singers and parents that have been so engaged, so involved, so open with sharing their feedback and supporting us through a time of transition. But also there's a really incredible staff team that's very, very quick and very, very creative. And I think it's easy to find inspiration when you're with a group of really, bright, engaged minds. And I think Robbie and I will both agree. We're very grateful for our colleagues.
There you have it. Shout out to the BCC team. I mean, that's totally true. I mean, if you don't have like the support or the backbone to make the work go, then yeah, it would add to the stress. But I'm glad to hear that, the team is putting together and then, it just keeps it going. Like on the outside, we see it. On the inside, I'm hearing it. So I appreciate that for sharing and, continue doing that great work. And out of both of you, I would say, what would you consider your artist? Like, what would be your artistry that you would consider yourself? Or identify, what art would you identify with?
Yeah, I mean, I've grown up as a choral musician for my whole life. My whole education was in choral music. But, I think for me, as I developed as an artist, it's become choral music and how can it be multidisciplinary? How can it be theatrical? How can it be relevant to today's society? So I think that I started off as a traditional choral musician, and then as I've had more and more experiences, the art form that I would most identify with is a kind of choral theatre.
Thank you.
And I'm in lockstep with Robbie about that. I think our backgrounds in terms of just choral singing are very, very similar. And I understand 100% what he's saying when we are trying to really open up the experience and make it something that's truly, truly thought-provoking and engaging. Choral theater is something that I'm inspired by and moving towards, definitely.
Okay, thank you. I wanted folks to get a little piece of each of you of like what your background is, even though we did the whole introduction, but just kind of imagination, because we are the arts and culture department and, everyone wears many hats and, some folks might not consider themselves an artist or have a medium. So I just wanted to find out from your perspective, like what that is. So thank you for that. And then I think out of all of this, like I was going to ask, like, what's your greatest accomplishment? I mean, even just being able to pull this off the ground and have contact online is a big accomplishment. But I mean, it would be great to hear internally what you guys feel what accomplishment is to you.
Yeah, well, I think certainly in the COVID era, our greatest accomplishment as a team has been managing to maintain our services. And the videos, in the end, I think that we produced 6 or 7 of those kind of virtual choir videos. And the reach of those is much wider than anything that Boston Children's Chorus has seen before. The total number of views on YouTube is in excess of 200,000, which is, before coronavirus, before these videos, our maximum number of views on any given video was 1,000. And then we produced one of Rise Up by Audra Day, which hit over 120,000 views. And that was amazing for us. What an amazing pivot. And to do that so quickly, we were really, really thrilled by that. So I'd say that was probably our biggest accomplishment.
Wow, that is a big accomplishment. I mean, I don't know if you want to add anything, Irene, but like, yeah, that's like amazing. That's one of the things I feel like just hearing from you all and actually just thinking about it, it's like, virtual can be good because now you reach an audience that you couldn't reach before. And now in numbers, people can actually view it. You can always go back and, you have something to remember by. Yeah.
And some from an access perspective, another benefit of the virtual side of this is that we're still doing auditions for next year. So if you're watching this and you are a child who loves to sing, sign up. It's not too late. You can sign up for a virtual audition. You don't have to come into our space. it takes 10 minutes and you can do it in front of your computer. And the more we've done this, I think that even once we can do things in person, virtual auditions make sense. People don't need to come all the way to our space for 10 minutes for an audition. And we're getting to people who might not otherwise have chosen to engage with us. So the virtual things is there's a silver lining there.
Thank you. And that's cool because that kind of segues of like what projects you guys are working on. So you hear that, yes, auditionings are happening. So if you guys are looking for access or any way to get your child involved in the community, or if they have special talents like singing, I think this is a great opportunity to get them involved. Because what also are the benefits of joining this choir, and how long, like I think, yeah, you said that they work till 12th grade, I believe that you work with them. Okay. And now are there like opportunities for scholarships, say if they wanted to pursue it full-time in college or anything in their career with singing?
Sorry, was that I might have missed the question.
I'm sorry, let me clarify the question. I was saying, are there any benefits of the young people joining your organization? Like say if they wanted to do it full-time as a singer or join a bigger choir, maybe in their schools. I know that sometimes you probably need like a recommendation or some type of push to show the school, like I've been doing this with, you know, with my neighborhood back home.
Yeah, if you're speaking about sort of long-term benefits, we have several of our students go on from 12th grade and they go on to major in music. We've got a few students in Berkeley, in fact, even in the incoming class for 2020. So that is really great. But then we also have majority of our singers who just continue to sing in community choirs for the rest of their lives. They just go on to be lifelong learners who are engaged both artistically in their communities, but also civically in their communities too. And they're able to affect change in the different spaces that they're in because of the skills related to artistry and related to dialogue and engagement that they learn at BCC.
Cool, thank you. And is there anything we should be looking at or paying attention to? Any hot artists, young and coming emerging artists that we should?
From Boston Children's Chorus, we just had one of our students, Chantel Teixeira. She just started at Berkeley, and I think she's gonna be somebody that we will hear her name pretty often soon.
And if you want to look at Boston Children's Chorus's collaborators for the upcoming season, you can look up Jasmine Horn, who's an absolutely phenomenal jazz singer. If you look her up on YouTube, you'll find her sessions on NPR, and she's going to be working with our kids to write a piece in her style, and then collaborating with us for a performance in May. So definitely look her up. She's amazing. She's a really, really exciting artist, and we're very excited to be collaborating with her and for her to teach our kids.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I knew there were some little plugs in there. That's what I was trying to itch through. But I appreciate that because we're always looking for some new acts, artists that we need to find out because, you know, Massachusetts or Boston as a city it's kind of hard. Like we have a lot of hidden gems, but it's like it's who you know. That's why we love to bring out these platforms and resources to share with all. So thank you very much. And just to put in like a fun question, what would be your professional superhero power?
I'll let Robbie go first.
Well, I think that for our team, being able to innovate quickly and be fast and very responsive is so important that for me, my professional superhero power would be to be very quick at responding to new circumstances.
Yes, that could be important. Sorry.
Mine would be being reliable and consistent.
Yes, take that. And that's all part of mental health too, because you know, how do you guys keep yourself sane? You know, I mean,
you know, Ola, it would have been real fun if you had asked us to say what the other person's was, and if there had been any.
I mean, well, you could answer it now.
I agree. I think Robbie's fantastic at just being fast. I don't know. There may be a computer that's faster than him, but that's about it.
And Irene keeps everybody organized.
Nice.
She manages people to perfection.
I like this. This is a great interaction. Great way to add to my questioning. So thank you very much. I like the whole creativity. See, this is a platform where we can just figure things out. And you get the natural feel of the neighborhood, which I'm in Nubian Square, because you're gonna hear the siren background. So that brings the ambiance. So yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys bringing your time. I mean, if there's anything else that you guys would love to share with us, any piece of advice of how to keep yourself going or support, system of what people can think about as they're going through, because I know there's other organizations that are thinking or doing similar things that we are, but what can you say to them that would keep them positive and keep them moving?
I think from a choral perspective, we know that there's nothing that can replace singing together. It's the thing that certainly for Irene and I, it's been our whole career's preoccupation. People singing together, people enjoying the feeling and the sound of communicating in that sometimes non-verbal way. But what we do know is that it's definitely possible to keep some of it. And I think that when it feels like we can't do it, it's very easy to say there's no point trying. We can't do a Zoom thing where we all sing together because the internet doesn't work properly. We can't be in the same room. What's the point? But actually, I think if you watch our videos and you come to our sessions and you have the opportunity to meet other like-minded young people who are also singers, you'll see that there is still work that we can do that can fulfill and make us feel whole by still being artists together, even in challenging times.
Thank you. Any last words, Irene?
Well, in closing, I just say I'm so thankful that we have a partnership with Hibernian Hall, and because I am the conductor that actually comes to Hibernian Hall on a weekly basis, it's just it's a real joy to be there, and I know it is for our singers too, to just be in that space and to make music in that space. And so I'm just reminded of what just what a delight it is to be there, and I'm looking forward to being back as soon as we're able. But then also just sort of as an encouragement to folks, one thing, as we've been in this fast-paced mode to get things ready for the next season or to migrate to this platform or to innovate to this next program, I think one thing that has really kept me grounded in this time is finding authentic time to connect, and whether that's with students or with staff members. I think that connection piece in a time of social and physical distancing is so critical, and I think it reorients you, or it has, at least for me, reoriented me to what the mission of our organization actually is rooted in. So connection.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I mean, that's so true, because it just helps build, even with my colleagues, it's like, these are times that we don't see each other every day, even though we might work next to each other. But these platforms has brought a way to build us closer, to understand more, to help us plan more diligently, and looking at attention to detail. And then just finding ways to innovate and connect with each other. So I want to thank you both for joining me on this conversation. This is a great way to have an intimate conversation about how we work together and what you guys are actually doing. So now you guys shed a light to our supporters. So when they say, hey, what are you guys doing with these collaboratives? Here you are. So now I have a memory to show, and, we can listen and be able to just like feel each other out. So I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes. So,
and I know you've got that last video to play of ours. And before you play it, I just would like to let anybody who's watching know that the video that you're going to see has guest star Andrea Baker, who is coming in real life to sing with us again this season. Nice. And she's born and raised in Massachusetts. now lives in Scotland in the UK and is a fantastic opera singer. And you'll also hear a great jazz singer as well in this video. The video features choirs from all around the world. As we were coming to the end of our season, at the end of last season, we were reaching out to choirs from Russia, Estonia, the UK, Australia, Puerto Rico, all over the world, lots of different places, India, and they're featured in this video. So you'll see them, the titles of their choirs flash up, and thank you to all those collaborators.
Thank you. Well, bless your hearts. I'm going to show Ain't No Mountain High. And hopefully this time I get the sound correct. So, so thank you all. I'm going to bring you guys behind scene, and I'm going to play the last Lovey Doodle to close our interview.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. And thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you guys ever want to support our arts and culture of Hibernian Hall, please look down on our ticker link right there in the bottom. Our website is www.madison-park.org. Go to Hibernian Hall, and we would love to have you and join us and keep supporting the arts and local artists in Boston. All right. Let's do this. All right. 1 second. All right, there we go.